Good morning, Jumaine. Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Nigerians. And here is the news. As part of the special morning activities approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, an expanded special session of the Federal Executive Council, FEC, in honor of the late former President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, is scheduled to take place today, Thursday, at 5 p.m. at the Council Chambers, Presidential Villa, Abuja. A statement signed by Rabiu Ibrahim, Special Assistant Media to the Minister of Information and National Orientation, says the special FEC meeting will be held after the third-day prayer for the late former president at his residence in Daura, Katsina State, with the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, leading a delegation of the federal government comprising cabinet ministers for the prayers. The expanded FEC meeting will be attended by the leadership of the National Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, the Judiciary, and representatives of the family of the late former president. The statement further indicates that on Friday, July 18, 2025, a special prayer session will be held in honor of the late former president at the National Mosque, Abuja, while on Sunday, July 20th, a special church service will be conducted. The State House management has opened condolence register in honor of the immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari, who just passed on. This is in compliance with the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that condolence registers be opened in all federal ministries, departments and agencies, as well as at Nigerian embassies and missions abroad. The Permanent Secretary of the State House, Mr. Temitope Fashed-Demi, who signed the register at the administrative building of the Presidential Villa, paid glowing tributes to the late former President, Muhammadu Buhari, lauding him as an elder statesman who devoted his life to nation building. Mr. Fashed-Demi described Buhari as a visionary leader and a great man with passion for duty and totally focused on nation building. In a statement signed by the Director of Information and Public Relations of the State House, Abiodun Oladunjoye, the Permanent Secretary prayed for divine mercy and eternal rest for the late President. Vice President Kashim Shettima, members of the Presidential Burial Committee, joined others in performing the second prayer at the late former President Buhari's residence in Daura, Katsina State. The third-day prayer is expected to take place today, Thursday, with the Vice President leading other mourners at the prayers.
Today, we have come, as I said earlier, to offer condolences and to also offer prayers for the repose of the soul of the former President Muhammadu Buhari, and their dedication.
The legacies of former President Muhammadu Buhari include assent to key legislations that enhance federalism, political inclusion, and economic growth. Restoration of the January to December budgetary cycle is also credited to the Buhari administration.
We are fighting to get this act passed, and I'm glad he passed it, and then I'm glad President Tinubu is religiously implementing it with courage, political courage.
The effect and impact was overwhelming, and today we have competitive outlets that are competing to give Nigerians the fuel they deserve.
The ECOWAS Regional Stand Force is already operational for peacekeeping in Guinea-Bissau and Gambia. To activate it in kinetic form for counter-terrorism, governmental experts from the sub-region are meeting in Abuja to validate the policy document.
The policy was to ensure a consistent and effective training of the troops that will form up the ECOWAS standby force. Training comprises both education training, individual training and collective training, and military exercises.
The Nigeria Immigration Service has announced that from August 1st, 2025, all applications for the Combined Expatriate Residence Permit and Alliance Card (CEPAP) must be submitted online via cepap.immigration.gov.ng. A statement by the Service Public Relations Officer, Akinsola Akinlebi, indicates that physical CEPAP forms will no longer be accepted after July 31st, 2025, as the service moves to enhance transparency and efficiency. Applicants with paid but unsubmitted forms are advised to complete and submit them before the deadline to avoid invalidation. The NIS also urges individuals and companies responsible for expatriates to finalize all pending applications within the time frame. Enquiries should be directed to the Office of the Public Relations Officer at the NIS headquarters, Abuja. And that's the news. Good Morning Nigeria continues with Victor and Jume after this break. This day.